Hey everyone, I'm Kayla, and today I'm going to talk about the Golden Globes 2018. Now, just before I mention it, I'm going to briefly talk about why I haven't uploaded in a while. I haven't uploaded anything since last year, and I didn't upload much before that. So, last thing, before that I uploaded some videos in 2016, and that was really about it. As you all know, 2016 was 2016 and 2017 was 2017. I think we could all agree that these past 2 years have been horrendous, atrocious, just utterly atrocious. And, I think everyone, well, most people at least, can agree it's been a bad 2 years, at least in terms of society and like the world. I mean, obviously, Trump got elected and like all these natural disasters. My home, Puerto Rico, was destroyed, and still to this day, at the time of this recording, doesn't have power for the most of the country. Most of Puerto Rico doesn't have power, and it's most of it's still destroyed, and it's just really awful. And all this bad stuff going on. The KKK, racism, Nazis, all that stuff. So these past 2 years have been bad, and for me personally as well, I didn't really have a lot of good times these past 2 years. Like this past year, 2017, I did become an ADD ambassador. All about developmental disabilities ambassador, and I did some speaking engagements. I went to Georgia Tech and GSU, and I actually got an award, a Golden Goal Award for Best Young Community Advocate, and back in October, and that was amazing. But other than that, 2017 was just a bad year as well. I just had a bad 2 years, but I think this year is getting better. I started this year off really well, and I know it's not about how you start it, it's how you end it, but you can't complain about a good start. So, okay, so I'm going to get now into the topic of the video, which is the 75th Golden Globe Awards. I know Golden Globe and Golden Goal sound the same, mostly, but I guess that's why the Golden Globe named it after that. But anyway, it was the 75th Golden Globe Awards this past Sunday, and it was a very interesting show, to say the least. Obviously, we all knew in advance that a lot of men who have been prevalent in Hollywood would, not be in attendance because they've been accused of sexual harassment and abuse and rape and all that stuff, and this sexual misconduct. Like, first it was Harvey Weinstein, then Kevin Spacey, and then there was just numerous men, like the Affleck brothers, Ben and Casey Affleck, and even Stan Lee just recently got accused of sexual misconduct. I mean, it's like every man nowadays, every famous man that's not like Tom Hanks or Will Smith or, Leonardo DiCaprio or, like a lot of these men, it's like most men in Hollywood now have done something. And even some of the winners of the Globes on Sunday, as of this recording, it was this past Sunday, some of the winners themselves have done problematic stuff and are abusers themselves, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. Yeah, but we all knew that it would have to be addressed, and all the ladies, everyone would be wearing black. What I thought, I know some people were like, what does that do? I mean, like, okay, for the men, I understand because they always wear black. Like, what was the point of men saying they were going to wear black even when they already wear black anyway, so they're really not doing much? Except for wearing black, which is what they always do, so they're technically not doing much. Like, outrage over the men was warranted. Like, that was warranted because they always wear black to all these events, so them saying they're going to wear black was pointless. They did nothing. They did nothing by wearing black. because they always do. So, but the women, I think it was important. I think they did do something. They were trying to make a statement, obviously, and they actually, people, for just saying, oh, they just wore black and that's it, they didn't really do much. Well, actually, they did. They created the Time's Up initiative. And what that is that they created this initiative to raise money for women, women of color, LGBT folk, men, all these people who have been victims of sexual assault and harassment and rape in the workplace and in all industries. It wasn't just the movies industry; it was all industries, and that all these people, these wonderful people, Kerry Washington, who, by the way, she retweeted a pic of mine. I tweeted a pic. I tweeted a pic of me wearing black on Sunday before the Globes, saying hashtag why we wear black and hashtag Time's Up and hashtag me too, because I'm a survivor of rape myself. And it was a pic of me wearing black, and she retweeted it. I'm not kidding you. I'm not lying. The Kerry Washington from Scandal actually retweeted my photo, and you could see it on her Twitter page right now. You can, if you don't believe me, go check it out. Go to her Twitter page, and you'll see me there. You'll see me on the Twitter page, and it's her actual verified Twitter account. So she actually did that, but that was awesome. That made me so happy. But anyway, she and other wonderful ladies like Tracy Ellis Ross from Blackish, and is also Diana Ross's daughter, Brie Larson, Tessa Thompson. You might know her from Dear White People, and she was recently in Thor Ragnarok. I hope I said that right. The latest Thor movie. That's what she was in. Just a lot of people that were America Ferrera, another one. A lot of women, and I love that a lot of them were women of color, created the Time Initiative and has so far raised millions of dollars to help victims of, people who have been sexually harassed or assaulted or raped or, in the workplace and across all industries. The money is for them, those people. And it was awesome. I think it was they did an awesome thing doing that, and they helped raise money, and that money is going directly to the survivors. I'm sorry I said victims, because they're not victims, they're survivors. I should have said survivors, and I apologize for that. But anyway, the money is going directly to the survivors and to help settle their lawsuits against the rapists, and that's what's awesome. I know you guys, some people have said, oh, they should have chose not to go instead, and I kind of get that, I do. But then, what about the women who were nominated? Who had to go? The women that were nominated for the Globes had to go. What are you going to do? What if you won an award and you decided not to go? And so who's going to get the award? So the best they can do is, since they have to go anyway, the best they can do is wear black. And, the award show needs presenters and stuff, so the women who were decided to be presenters were black too. So, they did what they could, I agree that, and I get that, you could have decided not to go. But then again, there are, women, these women had to go. They were nominated, they were presenters, so the best they could do was wear black and create the Time's Up initiative. So, the criticism against the men is completely valid. They have done nothing so far. And some of these men who have won, were honored in the Globes, are, they haven't, they're still abusers and rapists. And yet they were honored, and the men haven't contributed anything to Time's Up. The only man that actually tweeted for Time's Up before the Globes was Mark Ruffalo, and I love Mark Ruffalo. He's a really woke white guy. He's amazing, and he was the only guy I saw that actually said tweeted Time's Up before the Globes happened. And since then, even after the Globes, I haven't seen any man celebrity tweet it. So, and I'm going to get to more of the men in a minute, just so you know. But let's start with the actual Globes. The first thing on my agenda is Seth Meyers, right? Okay, Seth Meyers was funny. I really like Seth Meyers. He has attacked Trump rigorously. He really has. And he's been awesome. He's been awesome at it. You know, I think he's a really cool dude. I would love to be his friend. That's for sure. He did a really good job. He was funny. He didn't make any like bad jokes about rape. It's not funny to joke about rape. You're not supposed to joke about rape because rape is never funny. Instead, he joked about the actual harassers themselves, like Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein. He made great jokes about them. He didn't joke about rape. He joked about the rapists themselves. And, you know, and he also joked about how, like, the opening joke was like, good evening to the women and the remaining men. That was funny. And you know, like, that was, you know, he did a good job. He joked about, he didn't trigger anybody. He definitely didn't trigger me. And from what I saw on the internet, he didn't really trigger anybody else. He made some funny jokes. He was really good. The only thing I didn't like that he did, that is not what he said, but what he didn't say. Wait, I'm just going to warn you guys, I'm going to roast a lot of people in this video. And if you say, oh, Kayla, like, stop blindly accusing people of this. Well, no. I have links down in the description below, and you can see for yourself about the horrible things these people I'm about to roast did, or who they support. Because I'm going to accuse them of stuff, and I'm going to roast them. But I'm not blindly roasting them. I'm not blindly accusing them. I got these from sources, and those sources will be down in the description below. So anyway, what Seth Meyers said, he did say something about Woody Allen. He joked about how Woody Allen movies are. You know, he didn't say about how Woody Allen himself is a sexual predator and rapist, which is, he probably said that. He probably didn't say anything because he didn't want to get controversy, and also because he knows that some people who have worked with Woody Allen were in attendance, so he didn't want to piss them off. But I just wish he would have said something about Woody Allen himself instead of his movies. But Seth did do something that no other men did at the ceremony. He was the only one that talked about sexual assault at all on stage. No other man talked about sexual harassment or the time's up or anything like that on stage at all. They didn't even mention it at all. They only talked about their families, thanking their families, and, you know, all that other stuff. It's basically like they acted like on stage that none of the harassment stuff was going on. None of the, like, everything was just same old Hollywood. And that was really disappointing because some of them wore Time's Up pins and, you know, I mean, I guess since some of them are abusers themselves, and I'm going to get to that in a few minutes, but I'm not saying all of the men who wore Time's Up pins are abusers. I'm just saying that the abusers that were there that wore Time's Up pins only wore it because they don't want to seem like they're the bad guys. So, even though they are, totally. But it's still disappointing that none of them really talked about sexual harassment on stage. The only man who had more substantial things to say on stage was Sterling K. Brown, who, by the way, became the first African American to win Best Actor in a TV drama. What he basically said was that, besides thanking his family, and his cast, was that, you know, he only got he most of his career he got like colorblind casting, which is like, you know, casting any actor for anything, you know, regardless of race. He thanked the creator of This Is Us for creating a role specifically for a black man to play. And that's really important, obviously, because, you know, he said that it lets people see him for who he is, and let people appreciate him for who he is. And it's not just like, you know, it's like saying that he is black, and, you know, that's okay, and that's a good thing. And it is a good thing. And being black is a good thing, and I'm glad that he got the opportunity to say that, because, you know, you can't ignore, like, someone being black. They're black, and it's a part of who they are, and it's a beautiful thing. Black is a beautiful color, and it's important to have roles that are specifically for a certain race because they need to be represented, and so people can appreciate them, and so people can see themselves represented. And being black is a beautiful color too. I think all races are beautiful colors. But it's important for people of color to be represented, and that's what he was thankful for in his speech. And yeah, but I am a little disappointed that he didn't say anything about sexual harassment like I am with all the men. Besides him, none of the men really had anything more substantial to say aside from thanking their families, and none of them really said anything about sexual harassment. So I'm really disappointed in the men because the women absolutely delivered. Every woman who came up basically said something about Time's Up, and they did their part, but the men didn't. It was like one side of Hollywood, like the women, the revolution, and the other side is just, oh, same old, same old. The men have to cooperate. It can't just be the woman doing all the work. They have to be the ones to step up as well. Simply wearing Time's Up pin and wearing black, even though you wear black anyway, isn't going to change anything. You have to put in the work. I'm telling the men of Hollywood, please acknowledge the Time's Up movement. Help support it. Please do something more than you're doing now because what you're doing isn't enough. And so, now I'm going to go into the problematic men that were honored at the Globes this year. As you know, not all of the men who have been all of the men who in Hollywood that are abusers and rapists, they haven't been all caught yet, or they're there's the voices of the people that they abused and raped, their voices haven't been heard yet. So I'm going to just say of those people, or the stories of the people that they raped and abused. Their stories have been heard, but not by a lot of people. And I'm hoping that this video can help, let their stories be more heard. So here are the men that have been abused. I wrote this all down because I don't remember, so I could remember what happened in the show and all the problematic people that were involved. Kirk Douglas got honored. He is 101 years old, and he was honored at the show. He got a standing ovation. He got a big award. That would be all fun and dandy. Problem is, he raped Natalie Wood. Now, okay, I know, I have links down in the description below from where I got these sources from. And I know Natalie Wood is dead, unfortunately, and for some reason. Kirk Douglas did rape her, and he has joked about underage women, and joked about sexualizing them and all these other things. Yeah, he's being honored at the Golden Globes and gets a standing ovation. Okay, I'm just saying, I don't blame anyone who gave him a standing ovation because they probably did not know what he did. I believe that most people in the audience who stood up for him didn't know that he raped Natalie Wood and said those bad things about underage women. I honestly believe that. I can't fault them for that. What I can put fault for is the Globes for honoring him and for even putting him on stage. He didn't deserve it. I know he's a big, he's been around for so long. He's been in so many movies over the years and yada, yada, yada. But that doesn't matter when you're a rapist, The Globes should have, the people of the Globes, like, who, like, in charge of it, should have, like, did research on him. And they should have done research before having him be on stage. Like, they should have done their research before having him up there. So don't blame the people who gave him a standing ovation because they didn't know. Well, at least most of them anyway. But instead blame the Globes for having him on in the first place. So if you didn't know about Kirk Douglas and what he did, now you know. And again, the links for this will be in the description below. So my next thing is James Franco. Oh, James Franco. Oh boy, James Franco. So he won for The Disaster Artist, and some people were like, why did he win? Like, he won over the dude, I don't know his name, I think his first name is Daniel, who was the star of Get Out, which for some reason was placed as a comedy over a drama. Like, okay, I understand Get Out was funny at points, but that doesn't make it a comedy. Like, it's a horror movie. It was just, I'm going to talk more about Get Out and his snubs in a bit, but anyway, he beat Daniel, and he got on stage, and again, he was wearing a Time's Up pin, which was funny because he made out with a 17-year-old, and he apparently harassed, because he was teaching a college course, a local college course, and he has harassed some people, some of his students. He has harassed some of his students. He made out with a 17-year-old, and he has harassed some of his college students. Yeah, he wore a Time's Up pin to the Globes. Kind of ironic, isn't it? Yep, that's why I hate him. And that he was in Sausage Party, but he's just, I hate him. And again, he didn't say anything about Time's Up. Instead, he blocked Tommy Wiseau, and was talking about him and the irony of the whole, like, Disaster Artist The Room situation, and how it made him win a Globe and all that. And yeah, so just don't, like, support James Franco because he made out with a 17-year-old. He harassed some of his college students. And again, I have the link down in the description so you can check it out for yourself. Now, even I think after the Globes, someone has brought these claims up after he won. I will also have a link down in the description for the person. I forgot the name, but down in the description below, you'll see in the link down in the description. So, and another problem I have with The Room, the Disaster Artist, is that Juliet Danielle, she's the she's the actress of The Room. She's the lead actress in The Room. She filmed a sex scene. With Tommy Wiseau. She wanted it to have a closed set because she was like her boobs were out, so it was like she didn't want to see. She wanted a closed set so nobody can see her breasts or her nude or whatever. But Tommy Wiseau Tommy Wiseau promised her a closed set, yet she shows up to work and the set was open. And I have a problem with that because now the reason I know about this is because it's from The Disaster Artist. Now I haven't seen The Disaster Artist. I know that the scene about this, what I just spoke about, is in the film itself. So the scene with the actress, Juliet, the whole like sex scene and how it was filmed and how it was supposed to be a closed set, yet it was open, yet it was an open set. That scene's in the film. That scene is in The Disaster Artist. But the problem is, on the Globe stage, like, Tommy Wiseau actually was celebrated on stage. He tried to take the mic from Franco, and he, James Franco was, like, hugging him and, like, yay, go Tommy Wiseau, like, all that type of stuff. He was basically being celebrated on stage, and I'm like, why? Like, if he did this, if Tommy Wiseau did this to Juliet Danielle, like, he technically, like, she had boundaries, and he took advantage of that. He didn't care about her boundaries, and so why is he being celebrated? That's my question. That was my thing. So for the whole disaster art, that's my 2 cents on the whole room and the disaster artist. Now, yeah, it was. Then Gary Oldman won. And my problem with Gary Oldman is that he not only he won like Best Actor in a drama movie, and my problem with him is that he abused his wife like more than a decade ago, and since then he has said some very like problematic things. He said the N-word, he said the F-word, F-A-G and stuff. So he's not perfect. He's not. So he's abused someone himself. So yet again of another case of the Globes awarding an abuser. So that's very disappointing. And also there are female. Not all the people who wore black and did Time's Up, who created Time's Up, are perfect. Isabelle Huppert, who was the lead of a movie. I forgot what the movie is called. Last year, she was nominated for the Golden Globe and the Academy Award for Best Actress in a movie where she played a rape survivor. And yet, she supports Roman Polanski, who you guys know. Roman Polanski raped a 14-year-old. And she wore black. I meant Isabelle Huppert wore black, yet she supported Roman Polanski, which doesn't make sense. Also, Penelope Cruz, who also wore black and said about Time's Up, has supported Woody Allen. So both of them are kind of hypocrites. And if you don't believe me, check out the links in the description below. I'm going to say that a lot throughout this video because a lot of this stuff is kind of like, whoa. It's that Isabelle signed a petition to help free Roman Polanski from jail. And Penelope Cruz, basically, I think she helped another petition. She supported another petition to help Woody Allen. And, Penelope Cruz herself worked with Woody Allen on a movie before. So yeah, that's kind of like, really, they're really hypocrites. I mean, like, why be in support of Time's Up and wear black, yet you support rapists? Like, I don't understand. You're just trying to make yourself seem like you're not the bad guys. And Timothee Chalamet, who is the star of the film Call Me By Your Name, which is a film I'm kind of, like, about Call Me By Your Name, I just hate that, like, his character is 17 years old, while Armie Hammer's character is, like, an adult. Like, why is it a 17-year-old and an older man? Like, why can't he just be 18? Because if it's 17, that's still underage. And that's why I kind of don't want to see the film. I mean, like, I heard it's, like, one of the best films of the year, and I want to see it because it's a gay movie, and I'm a lesbian, so I want to see more gay movies. But then again, it's, like, an underage romance, and I'm a victim of, like, underage stuff. So, well, I was never in an underage romance. I was raped when I was underage. I was 16. So, like, I'm really sensitive about that stuff. I'm very, very sensitive about underage stuff because it's like kind of pedophilia. And so I don't know why they made Timothee Chalamet's, as if I'm saying his name right, I don't know why, like, they made his character 17. Why couldn't it be 18 so it could be legal? I just don't understand that. But anyway, so that's my thoughts on Call Me By Your Name. You're welcome. Timothee Chalamet, he's the lead of that movie. He's in the upcoming Woody Allen film, who has gone controversy for an underage sex scene. Yep, there's an underage sex scene in a Woody Allen movie. Surprise, surprise. Kind of representative of himself. But, yeah, he's in that movie, so yeah, that's kind of awkward. I mean, he hasn't said anything about Time's Up or anything like that, or he just wore black, but again, all men wear black anyway, so he just did whatever, what he usually would do. But he's in the next Woody Allen movie, so I don't, so that's kind of shady. Again, also, how many people who support Time's Up have worked with Woody Allen or Roman Polanski? Natalie Portman, who said one of my favorite things of the night, because she was announcing the Best Director nominees, and what she said was, here are all the all-male nominees. And that was because they were all men nominated for the award. You had Greta Gerwig, who was nominated for, she made Lady Bird, which is one of the best movies of the year, was nominated for Best Best Comedy. Yeah, Best Comedy. And she was nominated for Best Director. And Dee Rees, who did Mudbound, she was nominated. Yeah, she easily should have been. And it was all male. So I loved when Natalie said that it was all male. I mean, she was pointing it out, and that, and how it should be, like, all females. And it was right after Oprah's speech, which was also ironic. I'm going to talk about Oprah in a few minutes, don't get me wrong. But yeah, but the thing about Natalie Portman is that she has supported the same petition that Isabelle Huppert or something, that's how you say her name, has supported, which is about Roman Polanski. Both Isabelle and Natalie have supported the petition in favor of Roman Polanski. I have the link down in the description below, don't worry. But yeah, she has supported Roman Polanski. So for her to be a part of the Time's Up initiative and say what she just said is kind of ironic, considering how she supports a child rapist and a pedophile. So, there. Also, I would love to say, there was a genuine lack of people of color winners, as there is every year, but it is important to point it out, Only Sterling K. Brown, Guillermo del Toro, and Aziz Ansari won anything. It was the only person of people of color who have won anything. No woman of color, aside from Oprah, who won the Cecil B. Mel Award. But only Sterling, Guillermo, and Aziz won something. And that's it. Get Out, the film Get Out, which I haven't seen yet, because the only reason I haven't seen Get Out is because I'm scared of horror movies. But I heard Get Out isn't that scary, so I really do want to see it. But it was considered one of the best films of the year, yet it didn't win anything. It was funny at some points, I get that, but it was more drama than funny. It was more drama than comedy. So why was it nominated as a comedy? It's really weird. But it didn't even win anything. I was happy when Aziz won. I like Aziz Ansari. He was cool. Again, Sterling K. Brown did a wonderful, wonderful speech about race and the importance of your race in casting, you know what I mean? And Guillermo del Toro won Best Director, and a Mexican winning Best Director in the current age